problem is that most entrepreneurs don't even realize that they are doing this in their business, and it is costing them clients, it is costing them business success because it's not how they were meant to create content. It's not how they were meant to sell or connect with people. And this one behavior is basically blocking them from how they would naturally be the most attractive to people. Hi, guys. Welcome back to the She Who Leads podcast. I am Daniela Varga, your intuitive soul business coach, helping you build a business around your purpose and creating the transformation that you are meant to be created in this lifetime. In this episode, I am bringing you a topic that I see everywhere and I have been doing for a long, long, long time. And it was really, really hurting my business. And I still see how it hurts people's businesses, and that is copying others. That is something that I truly believe most entrepreneurs don't even realize that they are doing a lot of the times, because it's very easy to rationalize it as a strategic decision. It's very easy to make ourselves believe that by following someone else, by doing the exact thing that someone else who has already has the success does, we will get the success that we want. And that is actually really, really hijacking the business. And I will tell you in this episode how and why. But first, I want you to introduce you to a new private podcast that I created specifically for you. And it very much ties into the whole copying theme, because it is about helping you become the obvious choice for people. And this private podcast is designed for you to stop feeling like you need to copy others, stop feeling like an imposter, and become the authority, the go-to expert in your field. And it is designed to help you not just see how you are keeping yourself in the imposter identity, but also helping you shift that, like literally shift that on the subconscious level and building a new identity that is the obvious choice for others. That when you can connect to seeing, oh, I have the best possible solution for people, because you do, but when you identify with that as an identity, then people will see the same thing. People will feel the same way about your business, about your solutions, and you literally become the obvious choice for them. So this is the private podcast that is built step by step to get you there. And you can find the details in the show notes below. And it is one of the best things I think I created so far. And one of the things I wish I had 5 years ago or 10 years ago, when I was literally feeling like an imposter every single day. So this is from me to you to really help you step into that potential that I know that you have. So link in the description and have fun with it. So let's dive into this episode. First, I want you to see why we actually have this need, this desire to copy people. And that is coming from, first of all, our nervous system. Because our nervous system really, really, really loves plans, right? The nervous system loves predictability and is looking for predictability all the time. So it comes kind of naturally that when you are starting a business and you kind of don't have any idea what you are doing and what to do or what not to do, it is a natural way for the nervous system to find some kind of a plan, some kind of a path that seems like should be working, right? So that is kind of the thought process. That is why it's so easy to rationalize when we are copying someone, that that is the good thing for our business, that is a good strategic decision for our business. Because in our head, oh, so I did not have a plan so far, but now I have a plan. Okay, it's someone else's plan, but that person already made money, they have clients, so why wouldn't it work for me? And that kind of gets me to the other thing that makes us copy people, is the result. So everyone who starts a business is, I think, a very ambitious person. Even if you don't identify as an ambitious person, you are on a soul level, you are. You want to build something, you want to create something big, and you want to help people through that. Amazing. On the human level, we really want results. The human self, the ego, doesn't really like to do stuff that doesn't have anything in return for us. So, in this sense, whenever we are doing something or trying to do something, we are again looking for some kind of a proof that what I will do here will actually worth my time, energy, and effort. And again, because of this, it's very easy to go into rationalizing, oh, okay, I will copy this person's strategy, this person's landing page, this person's offer, because again, they have the results that I want. So naturally, my thought process will be, if they have the results from this, then I will have the same or maybe very similar results from that. And that's not usually the case. I will explain in a minute why. But this is why we actually do that. And the third thing that is actually all the underlying emotional root cause of this is that we don't really trust ourselves, especially when we are starting something new. We don't feel like we can trust our own ideas. We don't feel like we can trust our own processes because, first of all, we maybe didn't do anything like this before. So obviously, we feel like we have no idea what we are doing, which, to be fair, sometimes that's the case. And it's easier to feel like, okay, I can trust this person again because they have the results that I want. So I can trust that what I am doing by copying them will be better than my own ideas, will be better than what I can come up with. And first of all, that is the biggest lie that we can tell each other, because no one's ideas are better than yours. And that is specifically true for the soul pool business, which is built around your unique purpose, because that is something that only you can build. And whenever you are trying to build your soul pool business, which will bring in the most joy, the most fulfillment, and actually the most wealth in your life, you are basically diminishing the exact thing that could build that business, which is your unique ideas. I will go into this more in a second, but I just wanted to give you the difference between why we copy and actually how that is hurting the type of business that we want to build here, because we want to build a business that is built around our purpose. And maybe who we are copying, and not maybe, who we are copying definitely doesn't have the same purpose than we do. So just by this logic, we literally are unable to build the business that we are meant to build, and that will bring in, again, the most fulfillment, the most joy, and the most wealth for us by copying someone else. Because it would be like you are meant to build a castle and you are using a blueprint for someone else's house who have like a condo, and you try to build a castle based on a blueprint that has nothing to do with a castle. And that what actually leads to a lot of frustration and a lot of disappointment in business. And a lot of the times we don't even know about it. Now, very quickly, I want to address something because I already kind of hear the uproar of, oh, but like that means that I cannot be ever, follow anyone else. And there's a fine line between copying someone and getting inspired by someone. Copying someone in my vocabulary means that you are either doing something exactly to the T as someone else's does, or you are overriding your decisions based on what someone else does. So that can mean that you have an idea for an offer, but you see someone you follow and trust that they are doing a different offer. So you are actually leaving that idea behind and doing what they are doing. Or you created a landing page, or you want to create a landing page, or you want to create a content, anything, and you already did it and you are excited about it, but then you see someone who is maybe doing better compared to you, or you feel like doing better than you do, and you see their landing page, you maybe like their landing page, and then you recreate your content or landing page based on theirs. Again, you are overwriting your own ideas, your own way of being, your own genius, basically. And with inspiration, you, in this exact same scenario, you could be like, okay, so I created the landing page, which I'm excited about. I see someone who I trust and like, and I see like, oh, they have this section in their landing page, which I didn't thought about before. What a cool idea. Okay, let me see how I can use that as inspiration that would fit into how I want to represent, how I want to express myself through my landing page. I hope you kind of see the difference between the two. So, inspiration will always come like, okay, this sparked an idea for me. Maybe I am taking the whole section in a sense, but I'm making it my own. I'm adding in my own flavor, which can be maybe a unique perspective, maybe a different angle that they were using, or just like really going in and seeing, okay, is this really actually fitting in with how I want to communicate things? Is this actually adding value to how I want to be represented online? Is this actually aligned with who I am? Or if it's not, but I still very much like the idea, how can I make it aligned with me? How can I twist it, tweak it, change it up so it is aligned with who I am? It is authentic to me. That's how we make things authentic. Getting inspired is an amazing thing. I would never say that you shouldn't get ever, inspired by anyone. Like, heck, this exact podcast episode was inspired by a newsletter that I was reading from someone who I follow and look up to. But I'm not exactly word by word telling you what I read there. I am using it as inspiration, connecting it to my own business, and using my own experience and what I learned along the way with my own mistakes and with clients to give you my views and my perspective on how this actually affects business and the soul pool. That's the line for me. That's the difference for me. And the way I see one, the copying can actually pull you down. And I tell you why in a second and how. And the other, the inspiration is actually what lifts you up, what sparks more ideas that gets you maybe into a higher frequency existence, right? So that's the difference between the two. So what happens to us and our business when we are copying others? So the very first thing, and I think that is kind of the most important one, especially in the beginning, is that we really, really hijack our own self trust. Because every single time you overwrite your own idea with someone else's idea and you're choosing someone else's idea over your own, you are literally signaling to your nervous system and to your subconscious and everything that you are that, oh, okay, they are better than me. I am trusting them over myself. I am choosing them over myself. Guess what will happen? That will be actually then how you identify. That will be actually becoming an identity piece of, oh, I cannot trust myself because there are other people around me who I choose to trust over myself. So that is basically meaning that what I am saying, what I am doing, my ideas, who I am, is not rock solid and it really cannot be trusted. Now, this has multiple consequences, to be honest. One is fueling imposter syndrome like crazy. Like, one of the main things of imposter syndrome is that you feel like you cannot trust yourself. And I go into detail into what is the emotional root cause of the imposter syndrome in the Become the Obvious Choice private podcast. Um, and actually how you can shift that, because that's a whole lot of misconceptions around that. But it is very deeply tied to self trust. When you don't trust yourself, then you will act differently than when you are trusting yourself. And it's so funny because, choosing someone else's idea over ours doesn't really seem as a big of a deal, but it really implies that you are not trusting yourself. And if you're not trusting yourself, then you won't trust your solutions. If you don't trust your solutions, then you won't price them accordingly. And when someone, wants to work with you, you will have a very, very different energy. You will doubt yourself. Like, whenever they have a question, you are instantly going into doubt mode, like, oh my God, can I really help them? Can I really change them? Can I really bring the transformation that they want me to bring? And those are fueling your imposter syndrome, which, again, the other side, the clients, the potential client, pick up on. They always pick up on that so much more than we are aware of. So that's the first thing. The second thing that happens when we are copying others is we are actually hijacking the exact thing that will help us or would help us to build the soul business, which is our uniqueness. Our uniqueness is such a freaking superpower that we have and we don't use. It's actually like crazy to me to see that. Because, first of all, when you are really, really rooted in your uniqueness and you are brave enough to use it, that is how you become authentic. And when you're authentic, people will naturally trust you more because you feel honest, you feel trustworthy, and also you showing yourself and you being comfortable with who you are. And I know I'm saying big things out here, but that is basically all coming from you knowing how you are unique and you connecting to that emotionally. But you are showing sides of yourself that people can actually connect to. One of the things how people will choose a person to work with is based on attraction, right? Like, am I attracted to this person? Do I want to spend time with this person? Do I like this person or not? That is building from your uniqueness. When they can find something weird in you that they have in them, that is an instant connection. That is something like, oh, yeah, I love that show too. Oh, I have this weird thing too. Oh my God, I cannot believe that you have that same thing. That is how you build connection. That is how you build trust with people. It all is coming from your uniqueness. And when you are copying someone, you are literally hiding away that uniqueness because, again, you're not trusting who you are and your ideas. You're trusting someone else. And with the way they are doing things, you are also copying the way they are, right? Like you are copying their thinking process, you are copying their words, maybe even you are copying their phrases. And that is basically shoving aside your own uniqueness, which people would actually trust and connect to, and trying to be someone else who people may trust, like, firstly, but again, this is not who you are, and you cannot keep up that personality who is not you for a long run. And that kind of gets me to the third thing, which how this kind of hijacking your business is the very fact that I said that you kind of have to keep on a personality that is not yours. You will have to keep on ways of doing things that maybe is not aligned with how you would naturally do things at all. That is what happens when people go on social media because they follow people who made similar businesses successful through social media. And they may hate social media, they may hate video content altogether, and they are so much more natural in writing, and they would have so much more success long term writing, but they are setting that aside because they don't trust themselves, they trust this person, so they're trying to force themselves to be someone else, and that will bite them back in the ass. How? Well, just a very easy thing is it will be super super hard to stay consistent when you are forcing yourself to do something. It's extremely hard. You have to rely on willpower, you have to rely on constantly motivating yourself, and this will fizzle out. Willpower goes away, motivation vanishes when you have a bad day, when you are tired. And on the other side, when you are doing something that lights you up, that you are naturally good at, that you really, really, really enjoy, even when you have a bad day, you will find a way to do that. Just right now, I am having the worst days, one of the worst days lately I've been having. I am going through some big shift, big transformation, a lot of stuff coming up for me. And I have been crying, I think, 3 times today, maybe more. And yet, because I love podcasting, because I love this form of expression, because I'm very naturally good at it, I have found the way and the will and actually the want, the true desire to record this podcast episode. Not because I had to force myself to do it. I had to talk myself into it a little bit. Because obviously my human would much rather do nothing or watch Netflix or I don't know, just avoid the feelings that are coming up. But because I love doing this, because I am lit up by creating the podcast, because it is something that I'm naturally wired to do, I found a way and I'm enjoying it. And because of this, I am staying consistent and I am still building my business, even though I am going through something that is heavy. Copying others, it's really, really hurting the business, a lot of the times invisibly. And I was one of the people who didn't even realize that for a very, very long time. Now, again, like I said in the beginning, it's a very natural thing to want to do and to go to when you start out a business. So I really don't want you to take this as a way to beating yourself up, because I know that you are doing the best that you can. I know that you're doing the best with what you know right now. And maybe you didn't even know that copying others could hurt your business. And now that you know that, you can actually choose differently. So that's the whole point from this of not beating yourself up and just like seeing, oh, okay, this is maybe not the way to do my business. And there's a better way for me out there to do my business, which actually will lead to me enjoying it better and having a blast and then having more clients because of the result of that. So I want you to help you to figure out where you are right now with this whole copying thing. So I brought you a few audit questions that you can use to see where you are right now and how can you actually shift from copying others if you are doing that. The first question is, why do I follow this person? This is what I want you to ask yourself, to really go in and see, okay, why exactly is it why I follow this person? Is it because I learn from them? Is it because I want the result that they have? Is it because I use them as a source for coming up with ideas? That's fine too. Just like really see, okay, why do I actually follow this person? What do I want to gain from following this person? Let it be a newsletter, let it be on social media, podcasts, or whatever. Like, do I use them as a way to not having to share my own ideas, as a security blanket for ideas? Or do I actually use them as a form of inspiration? Be super honest with yourself with this. The second question, do I trust my own ideas over theirs? So again, go back to the person that you follow or the people that you follow and see, like, literally, if they were to post something, would you actually change what you are doing because they said that thing doesn't work? So maybe you came up with an idea of how you want to do an offer, and then the person that you follow says like, oh, that would never work. Would you change the offer that you were excited about 10 seconds ago? If the answer is yes, then that's the indicator that you may not trust yourself the way that you should be, and you may trust this person more than you should, or in not the right way. And that's also something that I go into the Obvious Choice podcast, because that's actually one thing that is in the way for you to become the authority, to feel like the go-to expert in your field, when you have people who you trust over yourself. And I will help you see how that relates, and also how you can start to shift that, because that's a big, big, big block there. The third question is, what is an idea that lights me up, but I am dismissing because nobody is doing it? So I want you to go in and just like take basically an audit of like some of the ideas that you may had or have right now that you are setting aside, or feeling like, oh, I shouldn't do this because nobody else is doing this, or this person said this wouldn't work, or I really, really want to do this. I'm so excited to create an offer where it's all just images of, I don't know, how I, or me just dancing around and helping people loosen up with that. Like anything can go, like the craziest ideas, or not, they don't even have to be crazy, but are there any ideas that you are dismissing because you feel like no one else who is successful is doing them? Those easily could be the ideas that would put you on the radar. And especially if they light you up, if you are excited about them, that's a clear sign that there's something to explore in there. Either creating it, either offering it, or either learning something from it that will be super, super beneficial for you and your business on the long run. And the fourth question is, how would the version of me who fully trusts herself do business? And I really, really love this question, because it gets you in this headspace of, okay, if I were to trust myself fully, and just really play with this idea for like just a few seconds. If I were to trust myself fully, and I would know like whatever I do will work out, whatever I want to do, like really truly want to do that lights me up will work out, how would I do business? How would the version of me do business? What type of content would what she create? What is the offers that she would offer? How would she talk? How would she present herself? How would she show up? Where should would she show up? Would she do social media? Okay, how would she do social media? Would she write? Would she talk? Like, really just like get into this place of, okay, if I were to fully trust myself, how would I do business if nobody else opinion in this world existed out there? And find one thing from that, just pick one thing from that and try it out. Do yourself a favor and try it out. This will not only get you into creating something unique, but also build that self-trust with yourself that every entrepreneur desperately needs, especially on your soul pool business. So this was the episode. If you want to have more guidance, if you want more help, then you can book a free clarity call session with me, where we can dive deeper into this. We can see what is blocking you with your soul business right now the most. We can see how you are meant to connect with clients. What are the most natural ways for you to create and build a business? Like, anything is up for grabs as a full complimentary session for you. The link in the show notes. And I cannot wait to meet you there. And with that, thank you for being here. Thank you for listening and watching this. And I see you in the next one. Bye.